On November 13, 1984, a 21-year-old rookie walked into Chicago Stadium and flipped the story in one night. Michael Jordan didn't enter the league politely. He stormed through it and treated a four-time scoring champion the way legends usually treat newcomers. From the first possession, you could feel that this wasn't another regular game. Chicago had been searching for a heartbeat. The Bulls were noisy but uncertain, the city waiting for a reason to care every single night. Jordan had only 7 NBA games behind him, flashes of electricity popping in each, but to most people, he was still only potential. Gervin, meanwhile, was certainty. He was a walking 30, a glide you couldn't bottle, the rare scorer who looked comfortable no matter the defense. You could play textbook coverage, hear the crowd inhale, and the ball would still float in off his fingertips. Most rookies gave him space out of respect. Jordan did the opposite. He crowded Gervin's dribble, swiped at his hip, and then sprinted out to run the other way. From the opening tip, his pace punctured the atmosphere. He chased rebounds, poked the ball free, and exploded into the open floor like a sprinter seeing daylight. His first attack came off a simple push, a hesitation, a cross, and an elevation that made Spurs jerseys look a step slow. Mid-range pull-ups cracked like thunder. On the next trip, he cut without the ball, caught in stride, and detonated. The kind of two-step that turns a lane into a runway. Gervin did what Gervin does, slid to a spot, drifted into a soft jumper, unfazed. But Jordan took the make and turned it into a counterpunch before San Antonio could exhale. What made it mesmerizing wasn't just the scoring, it was the will. He pressed the ball, bumped the body, and finished through contact. Then repeated the cycle. The old hierarchy, rookie waits, veteran dictates, melted on impact. Chicago caught on fast. Each finish felt like a stolen crown jewel. Each jumper felt like permission to believe again. A late clock 3 splashed at the horn and the building detonated. Meanwhile, the Iceman still scored. He always scores. But those buckets looked earned, even heavy. Jordan's looked inevitable, the kind of rhythm that bends a night to its will. Then came the finesse. Pump fakes sent defenders skyward. He split a double at the top, feet tap dancing while the ball stayed welded to his palm. Then up, mid-air adjustment, soft finish, plus the whistle. This wasn't highlight hunting, it was solving. Whatever coverage San Antonio flashed, he answered. Pull up when the big sagged, blow by when pressure rose, pivot fade when help arrived late. By halftime, he flirted with odd 25. Steals had become sprints. Sprints had become layups. The rookie who was supposed to learn politely was rewriting etiquette in real time. On the other side, Gervin remained calm as ice. He kissed shots off glass at impossible angles, spun the ball so high you could almost hear the strings hum, and walked back like a metronome. But Jordan denied comfort. He shaded high to cut off the spin, bothered the release from the hip, and, most importantly, never admired the make. He turned and ran to force the next possession at his speed. Third quarters tell the truth. San Antonio tried switches, traps, and late digs. Jordan broke each one. A backdoor lob hammered home. A baseline burst. 2 long strides. A rise. A needle thread pass for a layup. Then right back to the pull-up. Rise. Hang. Release. He crossed 30 with the calm of a lifer, even though this was only game 8 of his career. Gervin answered with a finger roll that floated forever, and the Spurs bench applauded. Jordan nodded, then sprinted past everyone again. That was the rhythm. George composed something pretty. Michael replied with something inevitable. By the fourth, the Spurs looked like they were running uphill. Jordan still bounced, a fade from the short corner, a runway dunk that rattled the stanchion and shook the camera. The numbers climbed, 35, 38, 41. The math turned silly, but the message stayed sharp. This wasn't a hot streak, it was a takeover. Boards in traffic, passes on time, hands in lanes, a block at the glass to erase what should have been 2. When the rookie buried a mid-range and then calmly sank free throws with the game tight, the night felt ceremonial, like everyone understood they were watching a beginning. Pull the box score apart, and it gets louder. 18 makes in 27 tries, a sizzling clip that proved this wasn't volume for volume's sake. He knocked in his only long ball and drilled 8 of 11 at the stripe. That's not a hot hand. That's full command, possession by possession. Meanwhile, the Bulls shot 56%, won the glass 36-32, and forced just enough mistakes to tip a tight game 120-117. Gervin still got his, 28 on crisp work with 5 assists and 4 boards, because legends don't vanish. But the camera stopped following his elegance and started tracking Jordan's force. Shots that usually froze defenses felt like commas between Jordan's sentences. The rhythm belonged to the rookie, and the veteran, for once, had to react. And still, there was respect, and that matters. Jordan's pressure never mocked. It challenged. Gervin's skill never panicked. It answered. The embarrassment of the night wasn't ridicule. It was inevitability. The sense that time had arrived and the game was shifting under everyone's feet. You could hear it in the crowd leaning forward before possessions even started. You could see it in teammates sprinting lanes, harder, in defenders hesitating for a beat as Jordan gathered, in the way coaches burned timeouts to catch their breath as much as to scheme. When the horn sounded and Chicago walked off with the win, you didn't need the numbers to understand what you'd seen. A rookie had battered the limits people placed around him and made those limits look small. Context made it louder. Bird and Magic were restoring shine to the league. Dr. J still floated through highlights and headlines. Scorers like Alex English and Adrian Dantley painted quiet masterpieces nightly. And in San Antonio, George Gervin kept carving 20 with elegance, the brand ambassador for cool. Into that constellation walked a rookie with fresh legs and a refusal to bow. The tiny things prove it wasn't luck. A glance pulled weak side help 2 steps early before a drop-off. An offhand tap stole a rebound from a bigger body. A shoulder turn sold a fade before the contest loaded. These little levers make big nights sustainable. They whisper that this was a preview of control, not a one-off explosion. When the camera caught Jordan pumping a fist after a buzzer-beating mid-range to end a half, it looked less like a celebration and more like punctuation. There were moments where veteran pride met rookie certainty and sparks flew. George wove to glass, spun the ball so high the arc seemed to pause, and dropped it straight down. The crowd murmured because greatness is greatness. Then Jordan answered without imitating. He escalated, speeding the pace and turning made shots into instant attacks. That's where the embarrassment truly lived. Tempo. For a decade, Gervin decided when and how. On this night, Jordan did. Gervin's cool didn't melt. It simply couldn't control the climate anymore. Late in the fourth, the Spurs were searching for answers and running out of time. Chicago wasn't just surviving. It was thriving inside the rhythm he set. Every bucket stamped the night deeper into memory. 43. On a glide to the rim. 45 with calm free throws under pressure. The crowd didn't just watch, it participated, a living instrument reacting to every note. Ask around and veterans will tell you Jordan's greatness always started on the other end. He didn't simply match Gervin's buckets. He made him work for space, for rhythm, for comfort. He challenged the dribble, contested at the wrist, and punished any pause by pushing pace. The message wasn't "I can score too." It was "I refuse to let you decide the terms." Even as Gervin found 28 with that floating touch, the game no longer followed his metronome. When people say a torch passed that night, it wasn't ceremonial. No speeches, no handoffs. It happened in a string of possessions where one star's control loosened and another's tightened. The Iceman's legendary calm stayed intact, because legends stay legends. But he no longer set the terms. The rookie did. Years later, the stat line still reads like a teaser for what was coming. Efficiency, ferocity, completeness. 18 of 27 is cold math. 10 rebounds show he hunted the ball. 4 assists say he saw the floor. 3 steals and 2 blocks prove he guarded his shadow and yours. It all adds up to presence, to gravity, to the feeling that when he's out there, everything tilts. And it started here, against a legend who had humiliated defenders for a decade and discovered, for one long night, that the future had arrived. That's why the memory still crackles when you say the names. George Iceman Gervin, the artisan of ease. Michael Jordan, the storm that doesn't ask the sky's permission. One built a career on making 30 look casual. The other made 45 feel inevitable. This wasn't the coronation that would come with trophies and parades. It was the prologue, loud enough to shake the rafters and clear enough to read from the cheap seats. On that November night, Jordan didn't just keep up with George Gervin. He ran past him, above him, and around him. And in doing so, he announced a new era, without saying a word. By the final buzzer, the headline was simple and direct. The rookie seized the night. 45 points on ruthless efficiency, 10 boards, playmaking, defense, and intensity that never slowed. Gervin left with 28 and the grace that made him immortal. Jordan left with the win, the building, and the league's attention. Chicago poured into the cold air, buzzing like it had witnessed a secret before the rest of the world. It had. The legend people would argue about for decades had just mailed his first thesis to the entire NBA. And the message fit into one line you could feel more than hear. The hierarchy is changing, and he isn't waiting his turn. People still talk about how it felt inside that building, because nights like that turn fans into witnesses. When a rookie drops 45 on 18 of 27, rips 10 boards, defends and closes at the stripe, it changes what a team thinks it can be. It also reframes a legend without diminishing him. Gervin remained the artisan, the model of grace, yet he met a force that refused to slow down. That contrast, cool versus blaze, made the story unforgettable. Step into the November air and you could feel the city buzz. It wasn't hype, it was proof. The first clear chapter of what came next, written and signed with a win.